Half-Bloods, welcome us all back from well-deserved vacations, all of us, especially William and his lightning-struck house, and Hunter, the hardest-working Triquizard person that I know. And I don't know if I deserve... Yeah, that's true. I don't know if I deserve a vacation, but we're all back. And how are we, fellas? Did we have a good time on our little vacations?
I had a fantastic time. Went climbing up some rocks, hiking, drove a 4x4 up and down some canyons and cliffs in Moab.
Your videos and
Scared my
pictures
children.
Your videos and pictures were awesome. It was a great trip.
Went to Delicate Arch when there was like nobody there, which is pretty amazing. I had a great time. And for the first time in 3 years, nobody ended up in an emergency room on my family vacation.
Horrifying stories. Horrifying.
Yeah. Last year, one of my kids got attacked by a dog. And the year before that, one of them cracked his head open.
The dog story haunts me.
The dog story is not funny. That one was awful. That was terrible.
The
other one was just... Yeah, the other one was just him. Just like one of my kids just slipped and hit his head on a corner of a step, and had to go get stitched.
The dog
thing was horrible, though.
The thing is, it could happen to anyone at any time. It's just like there's a billion dogs that pass by my house, and like I don't know.
And now all of a sudden, if I see people with dogs, I'm like, back away.
Oh.
Never again. But successfully, nobody was hospitalized, and we made it.
With
what a
lots of
great
potential.
vacation!
Like you had lots of potential for injuries, and you did great. So
yeah, we did. Could have fallen off a cliff, Nothing happened.
I did nothing adventurous. I went to the beach and spent 6 hours a day in the water, but I also
no shark attacks.
No shark attacks. A hammerhead shark did just show up dead. A great hammerhead. I didn't know there were such things as hammerheads and great hammerheads.
Whoa.
Great hammerhead showed up yesterday on shore near the beach where we were, dead. Looks like it had died in like a fishing accident is basically what they described. I don't know. Anyways, I also ate my weight in fried shrimp and gained 8 pounds during the week. So I gained a pound a day, which I think is pretty impressive. And it made me think, for not the first time, like, surely Ron Weasley should weigh like 400 pounds. Like, do you think that there is magic in the food at Hogwarts that makes it low calorie, high, like, taste, nutrition? Like, do you think there's magic in the food at all?
I think when Ron Weasley's young, it doesn't matter, his metabolism. But by 6th and 7th year, if you start eating that much, you would gain weight.
I think so.
Like, so
but the thing is, they just don't exercise. I mean, they walk and they have to go upstairs, but like
it is a lot of walking.
It is. But like, think about basketball practice and track practice, and like we were actually
practice.
Like, there's no
Ron's just sitting on a broom back there.
Yeah, Ron's not burning any calories at Quidditch practice.
They're just freezing their butts off.
He's hanging off his broom trying to get back. He's doing a pull-up the whole time because he can't stay on his broom.
True. Swinging his arms wildly. That's fair. I feel like everyone at Hogwarts should be obese, and I just don't really... Again, you're right. Kids can eat a lot, but like there should be some
but by the time they get older, they would definitely catch up. By the time you're 6th and 7th year,
the self-control they must all have, like to just have all witches and wizards. We have unlimited food in theory at all times.
I feel like Hogwarts is like the thing that would kill me is that it's like eating the breakfast buffet every day. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. I mean, think about I don't know, the MTC where I'd have French toast sticks, sausage and 3 bowls of cereal, every single day. And they had so much better stuff than, they had so much better stuff than what we had at the BYU common room or whatever that thing was called. But I don't know.
My freshman year of college, I think I had 2 corn dogs a day.
Yes.
For the whole year.
And people say LSU fans smell like corn dogs. You were at Georgia housing corn dogs. What the heck?
I'm jealous.
How about the dogs?
At my time at LSU. Yeah, you cannibal.
You can. BYU didn't have corn dogs every day. We did have cheeseburgers every day, and I had a double cheeseburger basically every day of my life. During my freshman
Speaking
year.
of, Scott, I went to the creamery the other day,
Yeah.
and the burgers there look pretty good. There's a big ice cream shop at BYU's campus, Hunter, and they make very good ice cream. Very good ice cream.
A lot of BYU talk.
Yeah,
two corn dogs. I'm so jealous.
This is now a college food podcast.
Hey, I tied in Harry Potter. I think hard about how to take things that I actually want to talk about and loosely relate them to Harry Potter. So
I want to ask you a question that's important, Hunter.
Yeah.
Is Raising Cane better than Zaxby's?
Yes.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, he went
fries.
No, maybe I do love Raising Cane's fries when they're fresh hot. They're really good, but mostly also because I'm dipping them in like so much sauce. But
yeah, they're just a vessel,
right? Because Todd Graves like went to Georgia. He's from Baton Rouge. He went to Georgia and he was like, Zaxby's is good. I could do it better. And then he went to business school back home at LSU, and he did do it better. Cane's is better.
And he opened up a Cane's in about a 5-minute walk from the freshman dorms at Georgia.
Smart man.
And it's dangerous.
Oh, I believe it. Cassie, insert the video of Todd Graves on our LSU trip. Put that in here.
Yeah, our friends. So we were at LSU with all our friends, and our friends saw him and like chased him down and got a picture of Todd Graves.
That's awesome. I love
Who
that.
seemed very happy.
Andrew Whitworth, and he didn't. It was like, oh,
he seemed very happy to be in the selfie. He seemed very happy, more happy than anyone I've ever seen Connor chase down.
Yeah,
so in that respect.
Chicken moguls, big deal.
Hunter, I have another question for you. Did you see Spider-Man this week? New Spider-Man.
While I was in DC, no, he wasn't there. He's more of a New York hero.
He's been to DC.
He was there once.
He saved the Washington Monument.
Yeah. Which I'll say, Washington Monument looks like it's falling apart. It looks like Spider-Man just had a battle there. It's crumbling all over. That's what it looks like.
Really, my wife and kid were there in September, but that was before the renovations, I guess.
So yeah, who knows? But I did see Spider-Man the movie while I was in DC. Saw it opening nights, and I thought it was a good film. I enjoyed it. I think I would need to see it again before I have a concrete hey, where does this stack up against other Spider-Man films? But
how better is it than the Odyssey?
As like a movie, I don't know if I would say it's a better movie than the Odyssey. But I enjoyed it. It was good.
It was fun.
I enjoyed it a lot. Congrats to all of us for being a part of history. We all contributed to the greatest opening weekend in U.S. history and the greatest just weekend in history. So good for us being a part of history. To relate this to Harry Potter, which I really enjoyed the movie, I put it number 11 of all 38 MCU movies. I did already throw it in, but it'll move. My question is, in some alternate universe, what do you think of Tom Holland being our Harry Potter, and Zendaya being our Hermione, and Ned being our Ron, and instead of all the Weasleys being redheads, they're all just Hawaiian, and everyone else is white, so they still stand out. I think that they would be the greatest trio that we could possibly have.
I'm fully in for that. I'm for like a Hawaiian Weasley family. That would be sick.
That'd be kind of fun. Here's the thing:
Polynesian Weasleys.
You could go ahead and do that in this universe, but go animated and just use their voices. That could work.
I'm in. I don't know. Tom Holland has grown up and, he's 30 and playing, now 22-year-olds instead of, 16-year-olds.
You're
4 years college.
23. And he still looks like it. Him and Zendaya do not look 30.
They don't. And in the Odyssey, I think he's also playing a 22-year-old. So he's grown up a little, but I just start to picture him as like, can you imagine him as Harry Potter? Like, I feel like he could have been great.
So would you keep Hermione ending up with Ron at the end?
That would be a lot tougher. I don't want to take the liberties to rewrite that hard.
Imagining Ned and MJ, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, something feels off. I don't.
It's about as weird as Ned. I agree. That's about as weird as Ned becoming the Hobgoblin, which I believe is his comic book arc. I don't think they're going to do that in the MCU, but that's a good point.
No.
Maybe that does deserve a rewrite. I don't know. Ginny just has to be super hot and like so amazing that you forget Zendaya. That'd be pretty hard to do, but it could happen. Brittany Snow. I don't know who they could bring in, but just the hottest redhead in the world. It could work.
Yeah, let's debate that.
Exactly, William.
That's what we got on here to debate, right?
Exactly. Hunter, you've been on enough that I didn't give you a special introduction here, but Hunter is back. We love having him on. And we do have a special episode today, which has really happened by accident. Basically, friend of the podcast, Ariel, wrote in who would win in a fight, Voldemort or Darth Vader. And William and I have discussed this on and off the podcast a couple times. We both very quickly answered a Voldemort would win and moved on. And we posted that video. And the reaction from the internet world was no one agrees. And most of the world was picking Darth Vader. And it sparked a lot of debate. We have several videos out there now with coming up on about 500 comments in total. Some of those are just like singular conversations where people just could not let it go and just kept arguing with each other. But we've got about 500 comments on this basically innocuous throwaway video. And Hunter jumped in and said, I think I might be the person to come on and debate on the side of Darth Vader on the Star Wars side. And William is here to fight for the Wizard/Voldemort side of this debate. And I think it's important to qualify a little bit here, where you both obviously have Harry Potter pedigree. We're all dedicated Harry Potter fans here, but could you just give us a high level of your experience with Star Wars as well? I not deep into the Star Wars universe and will really be a moderator here, not a participator. But Hunter, tell us just a little bit about your history with Star Wars.
Yeah, my love for Star Wars, this is what I'd sent you in a text. My love for Star Wars is really only eclipsed by my love for Harry Potter in terms of like franchises or worlds that I've spent the most time in and love. But I mean, when I was a kid, that's the era of the prequels coming out in theaters. And so I saw all those in theaters, love them. They're the best movies that have ever been made. Hayden Christensen is the best actor of all time. And I stand by that. You can quote me. You can just post that clip just right there and you'll get probably at least 2 comments. I don't know.
So when I want to know, Leonard, when you first saw it, I mean, because I'm a little bit older, we're a little bit older than you, but like when I remember seeing Phantom Menace in theater when I was like 9 years old. And I remember coming out of it thinking like, that was incredible. I loved it. And guess what else? I love Jar Jar Binks because I was 9. And then like later on, I found out all these people hate him. And I was like, why? And over my head. Because guess what? When you see it when you're 9, you don't think Jar Jar Binks is annoying. What did you think?
Think, oh my God, that guy's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Wars is for kids, and the best. And it's best when you're a kid, but also it's really good when you're an adult who still like thinks that you're a kid. Also,
exactly.
Sorry, can you guys hear that? That was
I hear nothing.
Okay, good. Ignore that. My lights did get a little bit dimmer though.
Looks hot.
Yeah, so saw Star Wars as a kid, loved it, and then have just loved Star Wars ever since, and have watched obviously all the movies, but have also watched all of the live action shows, the animated shows of Rebels, Clone Wars, Bad Batch. I've read all 3 Thrawn trilogies. I've read through the Bane trilogy, several other like Republic era books. So like I've read a ton, I've watched a ton. I love Star Wars so much. And I've been quote unquote making my girlfriend watch through all of Star Wars over the last several months. We just watched the sequel movies. Literally this past week we finished the sequel movies, which I was reminded I don't like. And I don't think because I'm not a kid. Maybe.
We're aligned.
But
that's awesome.
there's good parts, but there's too many bad parts that outweigh, in my opinion, the good parts. But I really love Star Wars. We'll always go back to, I mean, I'm constantly rewatching the animated shows of Clone Wars and Rebels, and it's just the best. It's one of the best stories and worlds and universes. It's so vast. It does not always have the best product of movie or TV show that comes out, but I think the story itself often eclipses even the quality of maybe what has been released in theaters or on the screen. So big Star Wars fan.
That's a great resume, a great run through of your love. I just want to say, again, I'm not deep in the lore. I just want to say that season 1 of Andor was so good that it made me care about Star Wars. I think that Andor, both seasons, is some of the greatest TV made in the last 15 years. And again, it made me care that it made me watch all of Clone Wars. I am, on the journey. I'm going to watch Bad Batch. I'm watching it all. I finished, it took me like 3 years to finish Clone Wars because I don't know, maybe Harry Potter got in the way, but yes, Andor was so good and made me care so much about this universe of good versus evil and evil government versus rebelling people. It was just so amazing that it made me care. And I'm on the journey now. It's going to be like a decade-long journey, but I'm on the journey and I'm loving it. So, anyways.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, hey, if you're listening and you don't care about Star Wars, start with Andor. I mean it. So that's what I started my girlfriend on. We started with Andor.
Smart.
I got her hooked. And then we watched Rogue One, and she was super mad at me because, doesn't really go well for all the people you care about. And so Andor, fantastic.
Well, Bix is out there somewhere. So
yeah, she's still out there.
True. I did something similar. We watched Andor. My wife loved it. And then we watched episode 1 and she was like, oh yeah, this is why I don't watch Star Wars. And now she won't watch anymore. So she's like, nope, I'm good with just Andor. I'm good with Andor season 1, Andor season 2, Rogue One. I don't need anything else.
And like, that's it.
That's amazing.
William, I feel like you have a similar resume. You've talked about it a little bit on the pod. Anything you want to share?
Yeah, I would say, Star Wars is definitely like, it's kind of separate for me because it's like, it's not the books. Like there are books, right? And I've read some of them. I've not read as many as Hunter, but I've read like Ahsoka novel. I've read some of the Thrawn stuff. There's amazing stuff out there. But I've watched every piece of Star Wars property. I think Rebels is one of the greatest things ever made, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The feeling I have watching Ezra Bridger Mac on MJ in the
just a small little Jedi cameo,
a little part, but that's Ezra Bridger and he's macking on MJ. And I'm not gonna lie, if you've seen Rebels, like Peter better watch out. Like if he's Ezra Bridger, he's got charm.
But that guy's a scrub. She doesn't even like him. She opened up to Peter in like 5 seconds. Like, I don't really like my boyfriend.
Well, like, if he was actually Ezra Bridger, she would open up more. Okay,
yeah,
but
especially with those bright blue eyes.
Yeah,
game over.
But no, I love everything about Star Wars. Second only to my love of talking about how much I hate the Harry Potter movies. I could talk all day about the sequel trilogy and where they went wrong and my thoughts about that. It's one of my favorite conversations in the world. Because true. I actually, like, individually, like, I think they have all great actors and there's a lot of good stuff, and then there's just not a coherent story, and that's too bad. And I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I love Star Wars. Absolutely love it. I've watched it more than any other movie ever. And Star Wars is possibly like one of the most important films ever made. Like,
oh yeah,
period. True. Like, it's a consequential or most important films, pieces of art of our lifetime, whatever you want to call it. It matters. It's one of the most important things of popular culture / movies, that art form that's ever been made. Like, I know it's not the greatest film of all time, but it's definitely one of the most consequential ever. And it's awesome. And I love the story, and it's an amazing thing.
Well said, William. If we had like I don't know what those things are called, but like something that like just had all of the words that you said over the last 11 months of podcasting, I feel like talking about the sequels and how much they suck would be, I don't know, in the top 10 of things that keep getting
on my mind.
I mean it in a good way. People know where you're at.
And I'm not alone on that too. Like, most people pretty much agree.
Well,
you know?
certainly all Star Wars
Yes.
fans, I feel like.
Yeah.
Real Star
It's
Wars
not
fans.
like if you talk about I hate the Harry Potter movies, you're like, what? Why? But if you're like,
That's
man,
true.
the sequels suck, they'd be like, yes.
That's a good point,
you won't get a
actually.
lot of opposition there.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. Okay, speaking of opposition, again, we are here to argue. Again, what was thrown out there was Voldemort versus Darth Vader. Who would win in a duel? Obviously, we need to put ourselves in a box here so that we know what we're talking about. What's the scenario? What's the situation? And I feel like there's some key things that have to be established in order to have a real conversation, because if we can't agree on these things, then I feel like we're not really having a conversation, because they would swing the battle dramatically. And I pulled these really from like all the comments that, I haven't read all 500 comments, to be clear, but we got a lot of comments, and this is where a lot of them started. So I think we just need to establish this. And I'll just start I'll talk a little bit and then I'll ask a question. But basically, this is like, a neutral surface duel where they both know that they're dueling and they both come out prepared with a lightsaber, with a wand. There's no surprise attack. There's no high ground. This is just like a flat area where you can have a nice...
Oh, there's no high ground? It's game over.
I'm just saying.
About well, why can't it be like Corneria City, like in Super Smash Brothers Melee?
I mean, if
we're
doing
like
that...
Final Destination?
If we're doing that,
then we're a flat floating panel.
It's Fox's ship, and yeah, I guess you could go down and you could go low, but really it's just a long flat Fox's ship, and it's just a battle of skill, not a battle of I can hide better than you can.
It's not like I always thought of it as long as it's not like a boxing ring where it's like 10 by 10
boxing ring. I mean, honestly, where my head kept going was either like where like, and I know nothing about Star Wars, where like Yoda and Dooku fight like in a cave or where like Voldemort and Dumbledore fight like in the Ministry of Magic with objects around. That
gotta have some space, some environment around you.
They have some space. You can definitely apparate, and you can definitely throw some stuff at each other. Like I don't know what the stuff is. If it's rocks or it's statues, I mean, we can make this firm. Do we want this to be Ministry of Magic? Do we want this to be a cave?
I think it's fine. Like it's just a general.
Right.
Like, at least I'm fine with. I can go with that.
Yeah, that's great.
So then the questions I wrote out, which no one ever responds when I send all this pre-work for the pod. I'm just really talking. I'm just really talking to myself. But anyways, I feel like
you haven't gotten it yet.
A key thing that we need to establish is, can a lightsaber block a spell from a wand? I believe the answer is going to be yes. I send Stupefy, I can block that away with my lightsaber. We're all agreed.
I'd like to think so.
For sure.
The second question,
I think so.
Avada Kedavra. Avada Kedavra can explode a statue. It can blow up a desk. It can give a kid a scar. Can a lightsaber just knock that away? Or does that lightsaber take some damage? I feel like that matters. It's a little less consequential, and I think we could disagree on this, but I would like to have consensus on what Avada Kedavra could do in our argument. Someone else could disagree, but in our argument, do we want to have consensus on that?
My initial thought is like take any other spell, a lightsaber blocking any other spell. In my mind, the effect I imagine is like similar to casting Protego, of like in some way you're just like the lightsaber stuff is blocking. And we do know that Avada Kedavra cannot be blocked like by magic. We know that like obviously this like Dumbledore uses statues
physical
to like jump in front.
Right.
But like cannot be blocked by magic. And knowing that, I would say probably that goes with the lightsaber as well. Like the lightsaber cannot now what happens, I don't know, but I don't think it's just like the same as like I think it can block any other spell. I don't think it can block Avada Kedavra. I don't know if that means it just like hits the lightsaber and lightsaber goes out. Which there's some
recharge period.
I always imagine like it might like it would take a few hits.
Yeah, maybe.
It might take a few hits of Avada Kedavra. Like it would like overpower it eventually. It would wear it out, after, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 or something like that. That's what I always imagined it like.
Would it be like in the Acolyte where it like turns off for a bit, but then it'll come back after whatever metal he rubbed on it goes away? Like
a little bit of cortosis.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Okay, but Avada Kedavra does have some more power. A lightsaber is not a okay. And again, Hunter's coming from the Star Wars side, so this is not detrimental to his case, but this is a downside for him.
I don't need it.
Okay, so we're good there. Then can Protego, again, what everybody just went to was like, okay, well, Darth Vader will force choke Voldemort and he won't be able to say a spell and then it's over. And debate started there. Again, you guys can hash that out, but like, if I say Protego while the force is being used upon me, will that stop the force? Will that stop a force choke coming at me? Can Protego protect me from the force?
I personally thought it would. I mean, like, there might be some things you could argue about the force that would like go through it, or it would like lessen it. But
Yeah.
I don't know why it wouldn't. Like,
Right.
I can't really think of a reason why like it wouldn't.
Yeah,
It's not impenetrable, but it would do something.
Yeah, I think in my mind, and William, you can let me know what you think here. Like, because obviously the magic in Harry Potter is not like specifically defined in terms of like how does the magic work. But I think if you know Darth Vader and Voldemort are if they're existing in the same by magic, if they're existing in the same world or universe that they're playing this little fight in, I imagine in some way that like whatever the force is, like
It's
magic is just the manipulation of the force in some way. And so I think it stands to reason that like Protego would affect the force. I
Like
think
how,
that
like,
stands to reason.
Like Yoda can absorb lightning, right? Like force lightning. So like, I don't know if like Protego specifically, but like that, I would think force lightning is more powerful than a choke, right? Like that would on the hierarchy of like what's the force power to use. So I feel like it would like it might like be a battle of like it doesn't just like stop it automatically perfectly no matter what. Like it would kind of push through it. It might knock you off balance. It would do a lot of things, but it definitely it slows it down or stops it.
But to your points, the general consensus we have here is that a lightsaber is using magic, the force is using magic, a wand is using magic, and all those things should interact with the laws of magic that we understand, that I understand from Harry Potter. I understand less of the laws from Star Wars, but they should all act within the same laws of magic, again, in this world that we've made up. All fair.
Yeah, that's great.
The last question I want to establish before we let loose is Hunter. Because, again, William is going to defend that a wizard of Voldemort's status would beat a Jedi or Sith of Darth Vader's status. Would this debate change for you, Hunter, if we were doing Albus Dumbledore versus Darth Vader? Because, again, going back to the comments, there was so much attacking of Voldemort's character. Like, he can't even beat an 11-year-old. Like, of course, he's not going to beat the greatest, blah, 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 Sith ever. So, do we need to change the conversation and make this Dumbledore versus Darth Vader so it's not just actually Voldemort sucks and all he can do is Avada Kedavra and he's a killing curse merchant and he's not that good of a wizard, which is a waste of time.
I mean, you could put Merlin in there. You could put Godric Gryffindor in there. It doesn't matter.
In some ways, this is a referendum of like Jedi versus Force user versus magic, right?
It is.
So, like, to me, like Dumbledore and Voldemort, they're on the same tier. So, like, it's like
the internet disagrees, but
well, the internet's full of morons. What can I tell you? So,
I mean, this very podcast did vote that Voldemort would beat Dumbledore in a fight, which, again, was mostly parody, but it worked. So I don't know what to tell you. I convinced Blake and Trevor to vote.
Well, I'll put it this way: like, if you and the way I'm thinking about arguing it, like, if you just replace Dumbledore and Voldemort, like, I don't know, it works the same for me. Like, they're both incredibly capable. They're the most powerful magic users we know.
I'm just saying the internet disagrees, and the internet will attack Voldemort if we do directly Voldemort.
I'm sure they will. I've already lost this in the court of public opinion. There's no way for this to win. Like, in all my research and looking at it, like, and I have my own theories why. Like, Star Wars fans are just angry buttholes. That's a children's thing. It's fun to hate on Harry Potter and pretend like Star Wars is some like more grown up thing when it's literally made for children. That's why George Lucas was so smart. He made a movie for children that also appealed to adults, and he sold toys. Like, And Star Wars has been around longer, and it doesn't matter. But yeah, I've already lost the court of public opinion on that. I'm never.
Oh.
No one's going to be like, oh, well reasoned. But
Right.
I'm excited to explain why I think what I think.
Well, again, what you declared is that bring someone on this podcast and I will reason them to death and they will agree with me at the end. So,
yeah, that might have been hyperbole. I don't know. I might have been,
okay.
Yeah, you guys, I think, have seen
property in Arizona.
Yeah. I think you guys have seen how stubborn I can be. So we'll see if William can change my mind.
You're the right man for the job.
I'll declare myself open for my mind to be changed.
Okay. Amazing. Let's do it.
So William was making fun of me when I was trying to set like boundaries, but I feel like one of you should go first uninterrupted, and then the other should be able to rebuttal, and then the other should give uninterrupted, and then the other should rebuttal, and then you can just argue as much as you want. Does that seem fair?
Fair. You want to put like a minute on the clock or 30 seconds or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Opening statement, that thing.
Yes. And for those who don't know, this podcast is brought to you by the much needed book only ultimate unofficial Harry Potter trivia. I don't have a Star Wars trivia game yet, but you can buy this Harry Potter trivia game, so you should do it. So decide who goes first in this debate. We are going to do a quick level 7 from the game, the much needed.
Jaunt.
It's going to be super quick, guys. You're going to love it.
I forgot about this part. Did not prepare.
You don't need to be prepared. I was going to do a Voldemort-centered one, but we've kind of played out Voldemort. I don't remember doing this one on a pod. Maybe we have, but this is what we're going to do. And Hunter, you're going to give the first answer. Name 11 items known to be found in Borgin and Burkes. And some of these are mostly descriptions. We don't have like a true name for some of these.
Yeah.
Some of these do have true names. So 11 items known to be found in Borgin and Burkes at any time.
All right. Well, let's go with the Vanishing Cabinet.
Vanishing Cabinet is, of course, correct. One for Hunter. William.
With the Hand of Glory.
Hand of Glory. Very good. Used by Malfoy later. Hunter.
Let's go with the Cursed Opal Necklace.
Very good. Also used by Malfoy later. William, back to you.
Slytherin's Locket.
Slytherin's Locket. 10 galleons. Greatest deal ever made. Hunter, back to you.
A skull.
A skull is correct. I put skulls plural. Obviously, you can't use that again, William. Very good, Hunter. Back to you, William.
Let's see. There was like human bones they were selling, which.
Stop there. Where do I have it? Assortment of human bones. Correct. Hunter, back to you.
Let's think what else is
It's hard because I'm pretty sure the rest of them are all from book 2, and they just list off like a bunch of things.
Yes.
Yeah, just random things.
That is correct.
Is there some sort of rope?
A long coil of hangman's rope. I'm counting that as a correct answer. William, back to you.
I feel like there was like a pack of playing cards of some kind.
Bloodstained pack of cards.
I had that in my thought, and I was like, "There's no way there's cards at Borgin and Burkes. That doesn't make any sense."
What is this? Wizard Weasley's Wheeze? I can't say it, but Fred and George's shop.
Yeah, that one.
Exactly. Thank you, Hunter. Back to you.
Oh man, how many are left? 3 or 1?
1, 2, 3. 3.
3 left. Okay. Items in his shop. Is there a suit of armor?
I'm sorry. That is incorrect. I could have stretched one, but no, there's not a suit of armor. I know we played different rules here, but we're going to declare William the winner for giving the last correct answer. We're not doing second chances here. The other 3 are a staring glass eye, evil...
Rusty spiked instruments. That's got to be one.
That's the word for word. Rusty spiked instruments. And the last one is evil looking masks, which I was like, I don't know. Maybe you combine the spiked instrument with the evil looking mask. No. Okay. William, We are coming up on 35 minutes on this podcast. I'm going to give you till it says 36 minutes on this podcast to do your opening spiel of why Lord Voldemort, a great wizard, would defeat Darth Vader, a great Force user, Sith, Jedi. Go.
So the whole thesis I have of like why I thought this in the first place was because I feel personally that like magic has a much wider breadth and variety and is way more flexible. You can do a lot more than the power set that we know that Vader has, right? So Voldemort can fly, he can disapparate, he can make things move, he can transfigure things, he can create any number of elemental effects. He can, you know, create other things that will fight for him. There's just, I think the whole thing that it rests on for me, to keep it really simple, is that if you step back and think about the variety and potential of what magic can do in the Harry Potter world, in the hands of someone who's Voldemort, who is by far more evil than Vader by a mile. There's no bit of remorse in him, unlike Anakin, who does have is in there somewhere. And like we can dive into like L's they take and all that stuff later. But the whole foundation of why I thought this in the first place is because I feel like magic offers so many more options. So like the win scenarios of Voldemort, he can just do more stuff. There's more stuff that he can do, more things he brings to the table. If you put him in like a boxing ring, like, yeah, probably not. Like, you know, close quarter combat, no. But like, you know, I think if you give him some space, like, I just think about what you can do with magic. Step back and like acknowledge like the breadth and power and width of magic. There's a lot there. So that's the thesis of why. If you just ask me a question, that's why I think that's the basis.
You only took twice as long as your allotted time, so good job. And I mean, is it fair to say that, like, again, we've kind of just narrowed it down, like the Force is magic, and
pretty much,
and like he spends all of his time just learning how to use that Force to its maximum ability, and has a wand that channels that Force in greater capacity than Jedi could possibly.
Which is a strength and a weakness, like having an item. Same thing with the lightsaber. So much of their powers.
Hunter, you can rebuttal or just go straight into your, here's my thesis. I mean, I guess the floor is yours.
Yeah, well, my rebuttal is simple. I don't think I would disagree with a word that William just said. The variety of what wizards can do, what they're capable of with their wands, is more than what Jedi or Sith can do with the Force. That's my entire rebuttal. Now I go into my point because I don't disagree. But I think there is one major advantage that Darth Vader / Anakin would have. And I think there's one major disadvantage that Voldemort has. The major advantage is premonition. Jedi, being attuned to the Force, they have premonition. They see what happens split seconds before it happens. That's why Anakin as a little kid is able to pod race in the Boots at Eve Classic, where humans can't. That's why the Jedi are so skilled as warriors. If you go through, you don't see it as much in the movies, but if you go through the books, you read that like the way that Jedi are fighting, like they have this premonition of what's coming. And so because of that, I don't know how Voldemort like lands any sort of hit on Darth Vader, simply because he can always see what's coming. Disadvantage that Voldemort has, all of the power of a wizard has to be channeled through a wand. If that wand gets taken or broken, it's game over. There's nothing Voldemort could do then to attack Darth Vader. And so while Voldemort can cast Protego to block things, hard to block things in an instant, especially when you don't know what's coming or when it's coming. And so little Force snap of the wand may be done. Whereas if you take Darth Vader's lightsaber, he's done so many fights without his lightsaber. He doesn't need it. He only really needs a lightsaber if he's going up against somebody else with a lightsaber. And so I think with the major advantage of premonition and major disadvantage of being reliant on a wand, I think this is no contest towards Darth Vader.
before William goes, am I allowed to ask like uneducated questions to help listeners who know less about Star Wars? So like a Jedi's fighting a Jedi or a Sith is fighting a Jedi. They both like, I guess, equal each other out, right? Of like premonition, and they're both, I mean, this is like Sanderson and Mistborn, and like when they both take the one medal and they can both see the future. Anyways, so like
I'd
those
say very
fights,
very slightly based on their how attuned they are to the Force.
Right.
But they do have the same capabilities, just varies in terms of strength.
So would legitimacy like be a battle against that? Like, or does Voldemort's mind have nothing to do with this? And does legitimacy give Voldemort some of that ability as well? Again, we don't talk about premonition from a Harry Potter perspective, but you can't lie to him. He's like, again, Snape says this to Harry, like, you know, he's like, I see everything you're going to do before you do it. Like, obviously he's not fighting, like Darth Vader's not fighting Harry Potter, like, or Voldemort's not fighting Harry Potter. Like, he's fighting a skilled Sith Lord, but like, does Voldemort get any of that advantage as well? Like with he's the greatest legilimens of, well, I don't know, Snape, Dumbledore. There's a lot of great ones, but does he get any of that back to him?
I think we're talking legitimacy. I think Darth Vader could probably close it off with the Force, just because you're constantly, you know, if it's just Force users battling, you've got to close yourself off from the other person to the Force. In terms of the like premonition piece, like can Voldemort stop it? I don't think it has anything to do with Voldemort's mind. It's not him like seeing what Voldemort's like intention is. It's him actually seeing like what is going to happen. And so I don't know if there is a plausible way for that to be stopped or overcome.
Okay, now I'm just actually being a part of the conversation, and I'll stop. But I just want to say, like,
come on,
you have premonition. That is good. That is helpful. But like, also you have to be able to. Again, they talked a lot about this. So like, Voldemort can move at like subsonic speed, or not Voldemort. Darth Vader can move at subsonic speeds or something, and like Voldemort literally won't even get a spell off because he'll be dead before like Anakin's that fast, which I didn't really realize. Again, I don't know that much about Star Wars, but like, even if you know what's coming, if like 7 spells are coming at the speed of light and he's, you know, apparating behind you, and like, just because you know he's there doesn't mean you can stop it, right? Like, yeah, I know a spell's coming, but can I move fast enough to get rid of, like, to get out of the way is like a second thing, right? Like, I don't know. I'm arguing now. I need to step back. William needs to respond.
I need to, so here's the thing though, like the people just like attribute way too much power to Darth Vader. Like, I understand that like in the expanded legends and stuff, like there's things he does with bleeding kyber crystals and like all this insane stuff. Like how many times have we ever seen them move at super speed in all like canon?
Oh, all
like
the movies
once
you see in one
Phantom
time.
Menace.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Qui-Gon
in
and
Phantom
Obi-Wan.
Menace, right? Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan move fast, right? So like, I think like I just don't think it's like, think about like all the non-Force users that have killed off Jedi or Sith.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Like, they see it coming, but I don't know.
They do see it coming, and like Darth Vader is obviously like incredibly powerful. He's not an average Jedi, an average whatever, right? But the Force is not infallible, right? Like Cad Bane, he can hang with the Jedi. These are people that don't have precognition. Mandalorians developed the whole thing. They can hang with Jedi, some of them. General Grievous, you know? So like, if those guys can hang with Jedi and Force users, then I'm pretty sure the most powerful dark wizard of all time who has a wand. Now, what I want to know is that like, I don't think Darth Vader can just like snap his wand without,
I meant to bring
like with the Force. Like, I personally feel like that's something Voldemort can protect against with something like a shield charm, nonverbal. And I don't know what y'all think about this, but like, don't you feel like in watching high-powered wizards, Snape, Dumbledore, Voldemort, like the way that they battle, they do, it's not explicitly said, but it borders on things like precognition. Like the way that they move, like it's beyond normal human reflexes and things like that, right? So my whole thing, like the win scenario I see with like Voldemort is that like he can disappear and reappear, disappear and reappear. He can conjure water and short out Vader's suit because that's what's keeping Vader alive. Vader can't use Force lightning because his fake arms and limbs like absorb the energy. Like he can't use Force lightning. He basically has Force choke, Force push, right? So he gets telekinesis and he has Force choke, and obviously using his lightsaber. So I just feel like the way that Voldemort has, where he can create darn near anything, he could create and summon creatures to help him. There's just so many things you could just make up, and you can't pretend like that's ridiculous for a wizard. Like, what if Voldemort created like 1,000 snakes and just like threw them all at him? That's not insane. Why couldn't he do that?
Or
Like what we see,
or 1,000 daggers. Like, I know the daggers are coming.
yeah.
I can't hit all of them. He'd have to force stop them, and then I don't know. I can. Anyways, I'm not allowed to be in this. Go.
Also, if you break Darth Vader's suit, it's over. That's how the Emperor got him. He fried his suit. Fried his suit, little water. Well, it was lightning, and the Emperor got him. That's what ended him.
Yeah, I will say I'll make one quick clarification because we didn't really talk about like which like when of these characters like in terms of like their. I'm assuming we're taking both at their prime. With Darth Vader, there is debate on what is his prime. I am taking Darth Vader right before the suit, right
As
before
he's
the
murdering
battle
children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Order
The time,
66
yeah.
before the suit. Because the suit does or like him not having like flesh and bone in either arm does limit, not a ton, but it does have a limit on his connection.
He's more lumbering. He's not that. He is less mobile when he becomes the suit version.
Yeah,
of Darth Vader.
yeah, definitely less agile. He is stronger physically with the suit.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, but yeah, less agile. And so even I know we were talking about like the force speed or whatever. I wouldn't even think about that. But I think a great example of and even I will rebut one of your points, William, on the wizard's maybe ability of precognition. I don't know if precognition accurately describes what we see. I think we literally are just seeing
like superhuman, almost
fast reflexes, but they are fast reflexes that are based on still just like what is happening there. They just are super fast because there is not a delay, but like spells aren't instantaneous.
Right. The thing is, like, I always thought, I look at this and I'm like, precognition is not like infallible. Like every Jedi got murked because they couldn't see Order 66 coming, right?
They were also partially closed out from the Force.
Yeah, and Darth Vader is definitely closed off from some parts of the Force. He is not open to everything. So, just like Voldemort is closed off to
I feel like we're describing like legitimacy again. I know it's not the same thing, but like surely couldn't Voldemort?
Do you think Voldemort has to have eye contact? Or
I'm not saying that.
The thoughts.
I'm just saying I guess like Voldemort doesn't. Again, we're in a totally made up universe, but like couldn't. Again, that's what like nonverbal spells are, and what legitimacy is. It's hiding your intentions, and I feel like that's what the Emperor did, right? He hid his intentions and hid in the Force. I don't know. I don't understand Star Wars, but like, couldn't Voldemort do the same thing?
There's no way to say for sure, but I think he should.
I think he can block off his mind. He can practice occlumency and which like the equivalent of legitimacy and occlumency like are done by Jedi all the time, right? Of either controlling minds or reading minds in some way all the time. And so I think occlumency would for sure block against any effort from Darth Vader to like get into
Voldemort could never Imperious curse Darth Vader. Like he could never
no shot.
Darth Vader's mind is too strong to do that.
And a Jedi could never do that back to him.
Yeah, no, he would not.
Yeah. Never.
Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I'm curious because you mentioned this earlier. Would love to hear more. Actually, I'll have one thought. But you mentioned that you didn't think Darth Vader could force snap a wand that Voldemort could protect against it. My point, which this really comes down still to the premonition piece of like, if you don't know what is coming or when it is coming or like how it's coming, I don't know how, like Protego isn't this just like force field that stays up like indefinitely.
Could a Jedi snap another Jedi's lightsaber? If you can't do it to a lightsaber, I don't know why you could do it to a wand. Like, it's a powerful magical object that obviously can be broken and is broken, but
I mean, lightsabers are a little more sturdy than sticks.
yeah, but like
we see wands get snapped constantly.
We see wands get snapped twice, and
constantly,
but never by another wand. Never like an intentional magic snapped it. It's like physical force snaps it, and we're talking about magic. Like, the force is magic. That's what we've declared. Like, magic is
try, but like it's kind of like reminds me of like when Lucius tries to summon the prophecy out of his hand, and like Harry blocks it, and like it would be nonverbal basically. Voldemort, Darth Vader is essentially casting a nonverbal spell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if like Dumbledore and all these people, they all try to do stuff to Voldemort, and he blocks everything. He's fighting. He's on the move. He's not staying in one place. He is on the move. Like, I'm sorry to all you movie people, but if you haven't read the books, like you think Voldemort fights one way. He doesn't fight that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Read the books and educate yourselves. So I don't know. I feel like I don't understand like this. I feel like people are like personally insulted that like a wizard could defeat their childhood, like, not hero, but like their like is insulted.
Kind of hero.
Like, what the heck? Like, the wizards can do so much more than Jedi. and stuff.
I agree. From the very first point, I agree, but I do think they are way more limited because of the instrument through which the magic has to come. And we have seen on screen Darth Vader snap a neck. And if you can snap a neck is stronger, I think, than
snapping Voldemort's
a piece of maybe he will snap Voldemort's neck. Maybe I'll just go there. But like we've seen Darth Vader literally snap a neck on screen, and so like force choking is exerting a physical force. Like, it's not like it is magic, but it is exerting a physical force. And so I think
do you feel like the way that like the force works is like it physically travels across time and space, so like it moves,
I agree,
like an invisible bullet or something through the air, just like a spell does, right? Like, it moves through the air basically and like comes at you. Like a force push like starts there and you push it that way, and then it takes time and space to arrive.
Hunter says no.
I don't think so, because the force, contrary to, because I do think that's how spells in Harry Potter work. That's how we typically
feel the
see
whoosh
of like it's going from point A, the wands, to point B, the target. Whereas in Star Wars, the force is just surrounding all living things. And so like when Darth Vader's force choking someone, he's not like sending something all the way. Like, he is manipulating the force that is already existing there, but he's just connected all the way across.
That's how magic works too, unless it's like an offensive shot taken, right? Like, if you're going to transfigure something, it's like acting on the molecules and stuff that are like there and transfiguring them into something else. But
like, Darth Vader has done it over a video call. He's manipulated the force and force choked somebody.
It's still traveling over time and space, though. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like when they're face to face with someone, whenever you're watching them battle, like, he does, like, there's a tell, like there is like movement, there's a tell, right? Like, he doesn't stay still and like completely surprise people all the time, right? So I don't know. That's what I think. Now I want to get into like let's get into the more fun stuff, like the L's they've taken.
I mean,
right?
Can we? Let's get into the L's, because I think that's good support for Darth Vader losing. But yeah, for both sides, that's fair. Yeah, because everyone's like, he can't be an 11-year-old. But so, I mean,
I can't wait to rebut that, because people are morons.
It does, but I mean, Hunter, like, if again, this is like just establishing the ground rules. If he can break his wand and Voldemort won't be able to see it coming, then yes, Darth Vader wins. Like, no one can argue against that. And so it does come down to, like, would there be a tell? Would he have time to react? And I guess,
even
like,
another question
question
that probably fits into this, like, also, this is what we don't know of, like, how much do they each understand about the other person's abilities?
Right.
Because, like, if Voldemort doesn't know that Vader can do that, he's not stopping it. If he
Right.
does
Yeah,
know,
but then Vader doesn't know anything about what he can do either, though. They really cancel each other out in that aspect.
I do think there's still there's a slight delay in terms of, again, spells have to go from point A to B, and the premonition piece.
Some spells do. So, like, the alternates. So again, the scenario of Darth Vader winning, I snap your wand, you are now just a pathetic snake man, and I kill you with ease. Okay. Voldemort acts first somehow because, again, whatever scenario is, and he transfigures the ground into sand, and he just starts falling into quicksand, and then he makes it solid.
Okay, whoa, sand is way too far. It's coarse, it's rough, it gets everywhere. That's
it would put.
Sorry, I didn't think about sand. It's
PTSD.
That's a good point.
It's giving PTSD.
I'm just saying, like,
it's everywhere. It's coarse. It's rough.
There are non-point A to point B spells that Voldemort could do that would immediately, like, disable Darth Vader from doing anything. He could, again, like, turn the ground into water and then make it solid again in, like, a second, and then he's just stuck in the ground and he can't move. And then precognition does nothing. Like, right? Like, couldn't Voldemort act just as quickly and do something so overpowering just as fast? Like, is that a plausible scenario if we move past he's not going to snap his wand?
I clearly think so.
Right. I think it ultimately comes down to, like, all right, because I know, Will, you mentioned, like, a couple times of, like, the premonition of the Force is not infallible, which is probably true. I won't say it's infallible. I'd say it's pretty accurate if you're connected to the Force, which at this time, Anakin is the most powerful being in the Force that really we've ever seen. And so,
is he, though? Is the Emperor more powerful?
He's an emotional wreck at this point. He just murdered 100 children. He's not okay.
You think peak Anakin is like Clone Wars?
That's how you get to that's how you get. I mean, you added some of the dark side kind of power there. Like, power is at an all-time high, I think, in terms of Force power, because we've seen, and Scott, I can't remember if you said you've watched Clone Wars. William, I know you have. But like, you take the Mortis arc of, like, when they go to Mortis, of, like, you see the power that Anakin has over both the light side and the dark side of the Force itself. Like, it's hard to argue that Anakin's
Here's this though, but when do we see Vader, like, use his power? Like, when is Vader, like, at his most powerful? Like, when he's Vader,
here's the debate.
There's moments where Anakin has this, but it's almost never in the mainline movies and like.
So the debate there, I think, ultimately comes down to, like, what your view of the dark side is, right? Of, like, is connection to the dark side viewed as, like, oh, he is now more and more powerful, or is it not, right? That's how, like, the Jedi, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, would surely say, like, no, he hasn't gotten more powerful in his, like, growth of knowledge and understanding of the dark side. But Palpatine would say, like, yeah, he's gotten way more powerful, and in some senses, like, he has, but in other senses, he is not. Like the suited Vader is, in some senses, more powerful than, like, we'll say Revenge of the Sith before Mustafar Anakin. We'll just say Clone Wars Anakin, but also in some ways, Clone Wars Anakin is more powerful than, like, the suit Darth Vader. Just depending on, like, I think your views of the light side and the dark side of the Force ultimately. I think, like, in terms of, like, when do we actually see his power? If you were to talk, like, physical power or like, still with the Force, but like in terms of the strength of the Force, I think you can obviously, like, in Obi-Wan, and we'll go just on screen, but like Obi-Wan Kenobi series, like, we see him pull a ship just straight down out of the atmosphere, which he does even more in the books, but he does do it on screen in Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I mean, we see him besides taking down the Emperor, I'm just kidding. He just picks up the Emperor, throws him down. But he can endure obviously a lot of pain, as we see, which is in large part due to the dark side of the Force, enables you to endure tons of pain. But like, I will agree, like, especially in the original trilogy, you don't see like Darth Vader's threatening. You don't like see the like extent of his power as much in the movies. You go to more of the like, I mean, going to any of the shows, you go to the video games. I don't know if you guys have played Jedi Survivor or Fallen
Yeah,
Order.
he also takes an L to Seer.
No, he doesn't. He kills her.
Yeah, but he also like gets beaten by her. Like he gets stopped by her. Like
He gets
eventually
injured. He kills her. I would call that losing to
he kills her,
Seer.
but like, but he kind of takes an L at first though, and she's like not anything special.
So if Darth Vader kills Voldemort, but like
Well,
takes
no, in
an
the
L,
first one, right?
I'll
In the
take
first
that.
one, doesn't Seer?
He's got
Doesn't
Horcruxes.
Seer like?
Okay.
Because in the second one, Seer dies. But in the first one, at the end, how do they escape him?
They run. They're like able to get like some obstacles in the way.
But like
and
does Seer like stop him or slow him down? Or is that in the second one where she like makes things collapse and like?
That's the second one. That's in
second
the like the archives and everything.
Like she
And
goes
then
head to
ends up
head with
dying.
him for a little bit, and then she does die.
Yeah,
That's great. But also,
But
the best part of that video game is the witch.
Marin.
Marin, the Night Sister.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Yeah,
She's like Nightcrawler. She can jump
Yeah,
around,
but-
teleport,
yeah.
use the Force.
honestly,
So
yeah, it's sweet. Love those games. Phenomenal. But like, I think through Rebels, I think you get to see a decent bit of like, oh man, Darth Vader's like, just like he doesn't.
Do you
even
think
have
the
to move.
only reason that Ahsoka gets him in that is because she got through to him? Well, she runs through and hits him in the head, right?
She lands a hit. Yeah.
She lands a hit. Also, Ahsoka's insanely powerful. She's not a scrub.
Yeah,
If,
she lands a
Vader
hit,
loses,
but she
straight up Obi-Wan.
if spoiler alert also for Rebels in case anyone here hasn't watched it. If Ezra doesn't pull Ahsoka out
Yeah, she
in
was
the
gonna
World
die.
Between Worlds, she's done. And so like Vader kills her there. I don't even think she got through to Vader there.
She did for a second. But she also like chose that. She knew oh man, Ahsoka's the best. Ahsoka's my favorite. Let's put it this way. I want to go with and you haven't brought it up because I think it's an insanely stupid argument, but to say a bunch of 11-year-olds beat Voldemort, that's not what happened. Okay?
Yeah, I think that was an awful way to say it. Yeah.
Voldemort loses because of love and because of like the deepest magic in the known universe, right? He never gets outdueled in any way by Harry Potter or any of these lesser beings, right? Like even like on the broom in the 7th book, Harry's wand magically regurgitates some magic back at him to save him, right? 11-year-olds never ever once like handle Voldemort. It's all because of his own pride that he loses. Same way, I think personally, that's why he loses to Obi-Wan, because he's too proud.
Right.
And Obi-Wan gets him twice.
Yeah.
Washed up Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
First Obi-Wan this time. But
yeah,
ridiculous.
absolutely. I agree on the Voldemort saying the whole like he got defeated by 11-year-olds. No, he got defeated because he underestimates magic that he does not deem worthy to like learn or focus on.
Don't you feel like
right?
if these two were looking at each other, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're an evil guy. I'm an evil guy."
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like
yeah,
they get the vibe. The vibe.
Yeah, I think they both know immediately. Like, oh, this is a threat.
Would they team up though? I don't know. Could be like a.
Voldemort would never team up.
No, he wouldn't.
Voldemort would never team up. He would never, ever, ever do something like where someone's like a partner. He would have servants, but he would never like look at someone else as his equal ever.
He wouldn't even have an apprentice.
No,
like,
he wouldn't.
Like,
but he would have a Death Eater.
The Sith are all like, I'll take an apprentice and teach you the ways.
What's a Death Eater? A Death Eater is a servant.
Yeah, just
that's
a
what
servant.
I'm saying. Like, and Voldemort and Dumbledore. Well, and to be fair, like Darth Vader is a servant of the Emperor.
For sure.
He's the Emperor's whipping boy. He just does whatever. He's kind of a loser.
I mean, he's the biggest threat in the galaxy that goes and tortures and takes control of like hundreds of planets throughout the reign of the Empire. But
because he's told to. Because he's told to.
True.
Very much.
But he does it. And then he overthrows it. He played the long game. He overthrew the Emperor eventually. Just kidding. It was not the long game. But like in a sense, well, I'll agree of like the whole like losing like the different battles with Harry. I think those are non-issues. I do think like I think the clearest bit of power we see from Voldemort is probably in his duel with Dumbledore in the Ministry. It's probably like the clearest like picture, and obviously with like the highest level of opponent that you could have in the Wizarding world. Like I think it does stand like Voldemort like doesn't beat Dumbledore, but also like Dumbledore doesn't beat Voldemort. Like
right.
Like it really is a draw at that point. And so
is that how you guys really feel? Because when we had this debate and we accidentally voted Voldemort over Dumbledore, they were like, Dumbledore wasn't trying at all. Like he would have destroyed Voldemort if he really wanted to. And I'm not sure when I had to argue
agree with that. I think
Right.
Dumbledore was clearly holding something back though, but that doesn't mean he could have turned Super Saiyan 2 and just owned him or something, Like,
Dumbledore is focused on several things. Yeah, he's focused on several things all at once.
He's like, I admit, taking your life would not satisfy.
Yeah, and Dumbledore knows not how many Horcruxes there are at this point, but probably knows at this point. It's not confirmed, but probably knows at this point that like, yeah, he's got at least a Horcrux, and so killing him wouldn't do anything. Ultimately.
Which I feel like is what he means by taking his life. I feel like he's like making a veiled hint.
But also like he doesn't capture him.
No, I think he would have. He would have disarmed him if he could. Like
I agree. I agree. So I don't think Dumbledore was like I think he's holding back. This is like he's not trying to kill Voldemort because that's also not Dumbledore.
Agreed.
But I don't think he was holding back to the point where like he like let Voldemort go. I think if he could have, he would have disarmed Voldemort and stupefied him.
I have a question. If like we talked about, like I still think a force push like in a battle, like it travels some distance. Like it's not an immediate thing. Like in the whatever. But the point that I'm having, the Transfiguration though is not like traveling across. It's not like stupefy that like is like a blaster bolt, right? So if they know more about each other and they learn about each other, how would Darth Vader or any Jedi stop Voldemort from transfiguring his life support or banishing it? How would he?
Yeah.
How is Voldemort? How is Darth Vader blocking that? Can he block it with the Force?
Force push transfiguration
I'd like to think you can block that with the Force.
Like, if he can,
similarly,
go ahead,
I would say similar to like if I don't know, let's just say hypothetically, like you've got two Jedi, one's holding, something in their hand. I don't know, a sandcastle in their hand. We'll say something super easy to destroy. And the other Jedi is like, oh, I'm going to force like crush that. Like I would like, would you agree that like the idea of like force crushing something is probably similar to the way you're describing Transfiguration, at least in terms of like, it's not this like point A shooting out to point B. It's something happening here and then something's happening over there near instantaneously. Like if you were to crush something, or even that's essentially what force choking is. Like it's not a point A to B type thing. Where force push, I think force push is what you're describing of like point A to point B. I think just by nature of it being a push, that's just like what it is. Like force pull doesn't originate from the Jedi; it originates from the object that's being pulled. But if one Jedi is holding a sandcastle and I was like, I'm going to force crush it, I'd like to believe that the other person could manipulate the force to protect it so that it's not being crushed. Is how I would like to think.
If the force can stop transfiguration, then magic has to be able to stop snapping of a wand. Those both have to be true. And there is a tell, like he has to move to snap something, right? Like
almost always they do. Like,
but not much. Yeah, I mean, he got his hand behind his back and then just flick his wrist.
Well,
they didn't have to point it.
Then it's not even. Again, they're both using the same magic in this like made up world that we've created.
But like
right?
also like Voldemort just has to think a spell and like flick his wand. Not even necessarily like if he's going to shoot a killing curse, he has to point it. Obviously, that's like a blaster bolt, a shot, right? Like, but like if he's doing something else, like he doesn't really need to point his wand at him. He can do a billion other things.
And we've never seen someone stop transfiguration. We have seen someone transfigure back. We have never seen someone stop transfiguration. Like, that would be incredible. If he's turning it into a snake and Dumbledore says no and just stops the transfiguration, like, that seems impossible to me. The transfiguration happens, and then they've got to change it back, and the Jedi can't do that. They have no idea how to do that. That is so beyond them. I don't think that they can stop transfiguration. That's never come close to happening. Yeah,
I wonder. I wonder at the point you just made, William, about the wand being pointed. I feel like the wand does need to be pointed, but I'm trying to think in my mind of like
depends on for what,
like the evidence, like to back it up. But I'm trying to think if there's any example of like a wand not being pointed at somebody or like in the direction of somebody and like casting like magic at them.
Sometimes they just flick it.
It's a flick,
like like a small flick.
Yeah, but is it not implied that flick is in the general direction of
right? But it's not like pointed.
It's
not. You don't have to like. I don't think you have to like lift your arm up and like be like this at them. Like it could be on your side and you flick it or something, right? And I agree. Like so, the wand is a weakness in that. Like yes, if you can strip him of his wand, that's obviously an easy win. I don't feel like precognition works for the way that like Voldemort could never land a hit. Like if that was true, then no Jedi ever would ever lose to anyone for any reason except another Jedi. And they lose all the time. It's not perfect. People get through it all the time.
But is Darth Vader... But it's not all Jedi. You have to think of Darth Vader, though, right?
It is Darth Vader who is the most powerful in the Force.
But we're basing Darth Vader on the powers of the Force, right? Force users. And Darth Vader is incredibly powerful and still loses or at least gets hit, right, by people who are way less powerful than him, right? Like, he's not perfect. He's not infallible. I don't even think he's the most powerful dark side user. I think clearly the Emperor is more powerful in some ways. But the...
is there, to hit your point real quick, is there a point, I'm trying to think, that Anakin, Darth Vader, like, gets seriously hit, and we'll say from like, again, I'm thinking Revenge of the Sith on, like, get seriously hit by anyone that is not a Jedi in any way?
I mean, like, I guess not, but he definitely got a bunch in the Clone Wars. They get captured, they get, and in some ways in the Clone Wars, he's at a higher power level. And then...
Yeah, but also like the Clone Wars. I mean, it's kind of similar to looking at like
time too.
The different like. I mean, you take the different losses of Voldemort. I think it's still here of like there's certain circumstances that I think affect the outcome of like in the Clone Wars. Anakin's usually not one. He's not losing if he's one-on-one in any situation, but he's rarely one-on-one. He's usually like also thinking about Obi-Wan and Ahsoka and all the clones of the 501st Legion that are with him, and trying to like make sure that they're okay, or fill in the blank. Or if they do get captured, they get captured by some level of trickery or mistake, whether by him or by somebody else. And so, in a one-on-one setting without these like external circumstances, I don't know like what. Like, again, this is all assuming, and this is, I think, the point where we're just going to disagree on. We'll let the comments decide, but this ultimately just determines, like,
the comments are morons.
but it ultimately comes down to like what an individual person's faith is in Anakin's ability to see what's coming through the Force. My faith in that is very high.
I'll put it this way. I don't think that's, I think people number one, if they fight 10 times, I'm not saying it's 10-0 one way or the other.
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
I don't think that, but I think that's what the general consensus seems to be, that like, that, Darth Vader, like Voldemort, a magic wielder could never touch like Darth Vader or something. And I think that's absolutely insane. The amount of imagination like that, if you think it, you can pretty much do it in the wizarding world. Okay. Like, and yeah, you got to have that wand. And if he can get rid of his wand, but I don't think there's like a pattern of behavior that shows you that like you could easily just take away his wand because you're Darth Vader. Like, you know,
Well, then we can switch characters.
why would he just,
We'll just go random African wizard who doesn't use a wand, and then the weakness is gone. I mean, you don't have to.
And who's to say Voldemort can't do something without a wand? I'm assuming he can.
Who's to say he can't?
Hey, can we sub in Grindelwald then? Grindelwald didn't need a wand. I saw him do magic in Fantastic Beasts. No problem without a wand. So we'll sub in Grindelwald.
We only deal in canon.
All I'm saying is that Colin Farrell was super hot and he could do a lot of stuff with his hands, and I wish that they brought him back. That's all I'm saying.
He was wonderful.
There's no reason to have Johnny Depp. Just make Colin Farrell Grindelwald. So it would make a lot more sense why Dumbledore's in love with him.
Good call.
So I don't know. I just think people are really underestimating the imagination and strength of what wizards can do, and what a wizard like Voldemort can do. They can turn the walls into water. They can, do anything. They can shoot water. They can make fiend fire. They can transfigure things. They can block things. He can shoot killing curses, instant kill things. He can disappear and reappear at the drop of a hat. And I know precognition is definitely a powerful tool, but if that was true, and if it was like that infallible, then like basically the way people are acting is that like no non-Force user could ever even hang with Anakin or Darth Vader for even a second. But people have, right? And you're adding someone
Who?
near infinite. Isn't he like? They've battled like Mandalorians. They hear about Cad Bane. Like,
does Grievous use the Force?
Grievous doesn't use the Force, unless you're talking like everyone literally uses the Force because we're all like existing.
Yeah, no, Grievous doesn't use
like,
the Force.
I feel like Grievous hangs with him. I feel like Grievous is like, I mean, he gets beat.
He never
and
fights,
sliced
he
up,
never
but,
fights
like,
Grievous.
He never fights Grievous. Never, like in Clone Wars. I feel like Grievous.
Well, I mean, so
tearing
put it
up.
this
No,
way.
not in Clone Wars. They don't meet till Revenge of the Sith.
No, they don't.
Which is
They don't meet till
a super funny thing that like the movie came out and they like met and they wrote Clone Wars and they're like, we have to write Clone Wars without Anakin and Grievous ever meeting. They have to constantly miss each other. And it happens so many times.
That's funny. I didn't realize that.
But like also like, like they get hot by the droidicas in the ship on the way with Palpatine, right? Like they get into situations. Like, and they always come out victorious because they are resourceful and like strong and powerful and stuff. But let's.
Yeah, I'll agree. When I say premonition, it is not this always on ability. I do think it has to be like intentionally, like the way it's described in the books. Even like it has to be an ability that is intentionally used. And so I think even all the times that you're talking about, where like the Jedi got like. Are probably times either they've just not been super attuned to the Force, because there have been some times, if you think about again, take Attack of the Clones, the whole bounty hunter, but like the whole bounty hunter like bait trap that Anakin set with Padme in her bedroom, of like they like were like focused, like Anakin was like, I know everything that's going on in that room, and then he starts talking to Obi-Wan. And like doesn't notice immediately the like that droid like show up to the window, those two little like poisonous centipedes that come in. But even though they're not like super, like they're focusing on a conversation, not even actively like there, like both of them are like, oh, I feel it too, and they jump in there right before the centipedes are able to kill Padme, essentially. So I agree. It's not an always on ability. I think if Vader or Anakin is in a one-on-one fight with Voldemort, I think he's probably going to have it always on. Like, I think he will constantly intentionally be like feeling in the force of like what is about to happen so that I can blank. And he's smart. He is a brilliant like strategist and fighter and warrior. And so is Voldemort. I think Voldemort's very smart and obviously
They're
skilled
both
and powerful.
Incredibly prideful. I just think of like in my mind, like this is what really truly blew my mind is that like when we put this out there, people are like, "This is insane." It's like not even like nobody even was remotely on our side, and I make no sense of that. Why couldn't Voldemort like apparate around the room and be dropping bombs basically at him and like bounce around and transfigure the floor into
lava,
while
he's flying on the wind.
Here's a question: Could Darth Vader hold Voldemort to the point where he couldn't apparate?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I feel like he could grab him, but then like he could revulsion jinx and like release the force choke, or he could apparate and get out because you don't need to say anything to apparate or cast a spell like that. Like a revulsion jinx, like when Harry did it involuntarily when Vernon choked him, Magic, like I said, that's an example of magic where you don't have to like point your wand and obviously say something or something like that. Like, things happen around you. Like it's instinctive. And Voldemort's mastery and level of magic and fighting is
I guess
crazy.
Yeah, and similar to Harry, if Darth Vader like insults Voldemort's parents, maybe Voldemort will like blow him up like a balloon and like shatter a wine glass without his wand.
Voldemort's like, what is happening to me? Why am I blowing up like a balloon? I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, I don't think people are respecting the width and breadth and power of magic, and I don't get it. I think that's because everyone's just being little babies and they're so obsessed with Star Wars they can't admit that like something else, like is made up world, like Superman would beat him. We'd beat either of these guys. But would a killing curse work on Kal-El? I don't know.
Yes, it separates life from spirits from bodies. He's got a spirit.
Bullets.
He's got a body. No, they don't.
So do
they
bullets.
don't. Bullets do not. They penetrate skin and then do damage internally. That is not what Avada Kedavra does. It just
I'll tell you who is lightning fast. Superman. We see it all the time. He could dodge that. That's all I'm going to say.
He would
Spider-Man would dodge it too.
I agree with that.
He's
and then
also
he would
got a little
wand.
premonition.
Spider sense. Yeah.
But he can still get shot. A lot.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Spider-Man Brand New Day, everybody.
That was a big spoiler, William. I feel like we have to cut that out. It's been out
I feel like we don't. I think people
just
by the
bleep
time
it
we
out.
put this out, it'll be more than it'll be like 2 weeks.
That's 2 weekends. That's true. That's what we always say in the group chat. It's been 2 weekends. There's no more spoilers.
Yeah.
Like the whole world has already seen this.
What else do we need to cover here, Scott? What else do we need to cover? Because like I said, the whole piece of my argument is that like I think people are just whiny little babies and they hate Harry Potter and they want to pretend like Darth Vader is way more powerful than he actually is. He gets beaten all the time. The only time Voldemort gets beaten is when he's by his own pride. Okay. Magic is incredibly powerful and versatile. The Force, less so. I mean, look, being a Jedi or Force user is like the coolest thing ever. Lightsaber is the coolest thing ever. That's the best part about being a Jedi or a Force user. You get a lightsaber. And frankly, a lightsaber is not much use against Voldemort. I mean, their best weapon. Not much use.
Hunter,
I would agree. And
closing arguments.
Yeah, here's my closing statement. I would agree. Lightsaber, super cool. Not the most helpful against a wizard. I would actually argue the only thing I would say like Darth Vader probably would just hold on to the lightsaber for would be to block specific spells that are coming at him.
Yeah, he would definitely block a bunch of spells. I think Yoda would hang with Voldemort a lot better than Darth Vader would.
This isn't
not
worth asking right here, but like Expelliarmus You couldn't block that with a lightsaber, right? If it touches the lightsaber, it's flying.
I think you block
that's a
with
good
the
question.
Force, but
I feel like he
the
could
Force-
block something. That's
the
a
Force would
low-level
block it.
spell, and I think he could block it with the Force. But like,
think
he
he could
couldn't
too.
block.
But he would
He
have
could
to
block
know to
Stupefy
do
with the
that.
Force.
But he would have to know
with a
to
lightsaber.
do that. But he wouldn't
Yeah.
know to do that. Like
I think he would instinctively know. It's because like it would be coming at you like a blaster bolt. You know,
Basically, yeah, it's just red bolts of light.
Yes, which he's been blocking very successfully
but he
with his lightsaber.
Darth Vader blocks with his hand too. He blocks blaster bolts with his hand.
Yeah,
And
but
then-
also we do have to think that the lightsaber, like the Kyber crystal, is channeling the Force. Like that's what the blade is essentially. It is channeling the Force itself. Because the blade, so like Expelliarmus, I feel like you could block still with the lightsaber blade, as long as it doesn't hit you. Because like even when you're shooting someone with Expelliarmus, you're not hitting the wand. Like you're aiming for like the chest. Like you're aiming for the person, and it disarms them. Right? You're not aiming for the object of what's being disarmed. And so like I think you could still even block that potentially. But even if you couldn't, even if you disagree, and it's like no, you can't block Expelliarmus with the lightsaber. I think you probably could with the Force. But even then, the lightsaber's gone. I think the Force as like a weapon or a tool to be used, I think is enough, in my opinion. And to close, I think it really comes down to what you think about premonition from the Jedi's perspective, on how capable is Anakin at predicting and seeing what Voldemort is going to do. And with that, is he able to, without Voldemort knowing what to stop, get to the wand in some way? And so I think William, I agree. I don't think it's like cut and dry, like, 10-0 one way or the other if they, battled 10 times. But I do think there's like a very, in my opinion, a very like clear answer if two things like are definitely true, of like two clear strategies that like make it game over, of like, hey, if you get the wand, it's game over, probably. And if Anakin has, his connection to the Force and premonition, it will be, I won't say he was untouchable, but it'll be pretty hard to land a solid hit on him. Whereas Voldemort doesn't quite have the same. Voldemort still has to react in real time. He will react quickly, but he does have to react in real time.
Yeah. My closing bit is that I think the premonition argument, I think people put too much weight on that, because if it was that powerful, Jedi and Force users and Vader himself would almost never lose. And a lot of times they do to people who are not Force users. Secondly, I think wizards, it's pretty clear from reading it, the subtext of it, that like wizards like Voldemort and Dumbledore are supernaturally strong and powerful and fast and quick through magic, right? And finally, the wide world of magic. Read the books. If you can think it, you can pretty much do it. So Voldemort's options here, his win scenarios, are vast. He can change things. If you think it, you can do it. And frankly, Darth Vader can't. I'd say if they fought 10 times, 8 of them, Voldemort's coming out on top. He just has more things he can do. And I wish people would respect it more and stop being babies and pretend that Harry Potter is for children and Star Wars isn't. It's all for children. It's a made-up game. The points don't matter. I love both of these things. It's super fun.
I'm happy to be a child. I think this closing arguments summed it up well. Hunter, I definitely cheated, and this was 2-on-1 where I was clearly on the wizarding side.
Well, Scott, I'm curious. Did I sway you at all?
Obviously, to your point, and I really liked your talk about, again, a force push probably moving from point A to point B, but a force choke definitely not. Again, we kind of came around Transfiguration somewhat in the same boat. That's very interesting to me. If you can, I don't know. I think if they both go in and they both really know each other's strategies, that Voldemort can protect the wand. I think he could have like a silent Protego spell all the time going, and that would distract him. It would probably make him worse at his battle. But I think if we can move past, okay, you can't get to his wand, or if you do, it's going to take real battle. It's not I use the Force and I win. It's over. Then what happens? I think the precognition, very interesting. I think they do have an advantage, Jedi / Force users versus wizards, but I think that if you are catching a Jedi or a Sith user, a Sith, off their guard, they can know what's coming and it doesn't matter because there's 10,000 daggers flying at you and you can stop them with the Force, but then Avada Kedavra is coming at you and then Voldemort's on the other side of the room. And I think you can know what's coming and still lose because you can't not stop the incredible imagination that a Dumbledore, again, Voldemort, he is kind of a one-trick pony. He's got a lot of Avada Kedavra, but...
Yeah, he does. I always think, too, because if Voldemort's flying, right? You mentioned that Darth Vader can stop a starship, he's with the Force,
right?
He could grab a hold of Voldemort with the Force, right? But also Voldemort can, in this world, there's no real reason why Voldemort can't break that spell. The Force is, for lack of a better word, that's a spell, right? That. I think they're doing the same kind of thing. It's just however you're describing it, right? And Voldemort could break that spell. So all these things that Vader does and that can do, I think there's counters for almost all of it. In this made up world, he'd get him a couple times, but
that's what I'm not convinced at is that a wand channels this Force magic in a more powerful way than I think a Jedi can use it.
Lightsaber or
a wizard has never pulled a ship out of space. Could Voldemort Accio a moon? I don't think he could. Thanos can, so maybe Darth Vader can. I don't know, but I have to think. Again, I'm uneducated. My opinion actually doesn't matter. Hunter, you've made great points. If the Force is that strong, if Darth Vader can, pull, do things that a wand can allow magic to do, then yes, it's over. And if that's true, then
again, I think the key here is I agree of the terms of the if it's all the same magic. Of there's nothing but Vader could do to Voldemort that Voldemort couldn't release in some way. If he's even if he tries to Force choke him, he could block it, or even if it starts, Voldemort could, cast something that releases that. I think that's absolutely possible.
Right.
My thought is that is all reactionary, ultimately, and so if Anakin can get one solid little snap at the wand, then it's game over. And if I'm Anakin, that's all I'm doing is just with one hand, I'm wherever we're at, I'm ripping panels off the walls. I'm taking rocks off the cliffs. I don't know where we're at, but I'm using the Force to pull all of that, sending those all at Voldemort. While I'm also with the other hand, hey, let's get a little snappy snap. And that's what I'm doing. And again, I think the reaction piece, I think, is the disadvantage for Voldemort.
Do we see dual Force that powerful happening at the same time? I feel like I watched in the Acolyte, which was a crappy show. They couldn't lift two kids at the same time.
Parts.
One kid died and the other kid lived because they couldn't force two kids at the same time. Can you actually?
They couldn't. Anakin can.
Okay, Anakin, but can Anakin be, trying to destroy a building around him and collapsing it on the most evil dark wizard at the same time and be trying to focus in on an incredibly could he actually do that?
I mean, he does, again, go back to the Mortis arc. He does with each hand, Force pull down each of the sun
he's
and
also
the daughter.
at the center of the Force in the universe. Planet, right?
On the Superman on the sun.
I don't know. I feel when Voldemort fights, he's always at a very powerful level. When Darth Vader fights, sometimes he's like a god, and sometimes he's more normal. So, yeah, when he's in the Mortis, that's the most powerful version of the Force, in the movement and all that stuff. But other times, he lets Ahsoka get a lick on him, and she's way less powerful than him.
Yeah, but with a lightsaber.
What if
again somebody who has the same abilities?
All right, in this made-up world, Voldemort's been training for years with a lightsaber, and he's got a wand in one hand and a lightsaber in the other. Okay,
I'd pay to see it.
I never played like that in Jedi and Fallen and Jedi Survivor. Or you could do like the gun
the dual
one hand.
wield. Yeah.
I was always two lightsabers or like put them together.
Yeah. I'm a dual wield kind of guy.
I did not do the gun in one hand, the lightsaber in the other. Like Bodhi or whatever his name was.
Bode. Yeah.
Bode, yeah.
I don't know if we
Point
solved
is, it's an
anything.
amazing game, and Night Sisters would beat them all.
Yeah, but you know what's a better game? The unofficial book only. The much needed book only ultimate unofficial Harry Potter trivia game. Yeah, I nailed the name first try. Even a better game.
I get it wrong all the time. Thank you, Hunter. Bring us back to the real point here. To buy games and to watch Hunter and his amazing trivia. I love everything you do. Did we solve anything here today? I don't think so. I wanted to be like impartial. I just immediately was not impartial. I was immediately defensive. And
well, I'm excited.
I think you are. I was going to say, Scott, I think you are. I think you showed impartiality in that you are agreeing that if these two things are true that I said, then you agree. You just question whether or not those things are true. And I think that's fair. And I think
I am going to download Instagram just so I can jump in the comments and fight with people.
I'm curious what Cassie will cut from this. I'm curious what Riverside will recommend what we do here. I don't know who made it to the end of this video. Let's finish with just some core Harry Potter. Again, Hunter, we don't usually have you on for all the random stuff, but we're going to have you here for a Fred versus George, which is how we end all of our podcasts. And
great.
I think Hunter, you can answer first, then William will have you answer. And
this is Fred versus George one-on-one battle. Who would win?
Sorry, that is yes, and we're going to spend the next hour debating that. We all know Fred. Oh, Fred's.
What are we? Are we in Order of the Phoenix? Right, we're in Order of the Phoenix.
Yes, we are. We're now at the end of the Order of the Phoenix. We're on question 28 of who did this, Fred or George? Which I don't know. 15 years ago, I asked William, William, how do you think you would do in a game of who did it, Fred versus George? And William immediately answered, I would do amazing at this. And thus far, he's gotten it correct 84% of the time when I ask him, William, was this Fred or was this George?
And the last one I missed, I was like, I tried to outsmart myself and be like, it's George. It's always Fred. Fred's the favorite twin.
It's almost always Fred.
We had 5 Freds in a row.
Now I'm psyching myself out again. Already.
William, we had 5 Freds in a row. And on the last 4, you've missed 2 out of the last 4. I mean, that's just where we are.
Psyching myself out.
He was.
And I try to put myself on a time limit. I try to answer in like less than 30 seconds. I'm like, I just say it. Can't him and haw over it.
You were at 19 out of 21, and now you're at 21 out of 25. So things are.
Wow, it's falling apart.
Exactly. Okay. Here is the scenario. This is the end of book 4 when basically.
Oh, we're in Goblet of Fire. Oh, okay.
Right? Oh, no, you're right. You're right. We're Order of the Phoenix. I apologize. No. We're at the end of. Sorry, I'm all over the place. We are at the end of Goblet of Fire. This is when Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle get attacked on the Hogwarts Express. And I'll read the text because this isn't like a super notable moment. But the question is, who uses the Jelly Legs curse on Crabbe on the Hogwarts Express? I will read it, and I'm going to insert blank instead of the twins' name. Interesting effect, said Blank, looking down at Crabbe. Who used the Furnunculus curse? Me, said Harry. Odd, said Blank lightly. I used Jelly Legs. Looked as though those two shouldn't be mixed. He seemed to have sprouted little tentacles all over his face. Well, let's not leave them here. They don't add much to the decor. Who? Which twin used that curse?
Do we both answer? Does one of us answer?
Hunter, you go first, and then William, you can answer different things. But Hunter, you just guess first.
It's not a guess. I know it. It's George. 100% lock in. Final answer.
William, are you buying Hunter's confidence?
I think it is George. I feel like I'm living on the edge here because I've been burned so many times saying George.
I know for a fact this is George.
I believe it's George too. I believe it is George. And I've said it before, but as a father of identical twins, it really hurts my feelings that she clearly has a favorite. So,
the correct answer is George. Hunter, why are you so confident?
I wrote a trivia question about that scene. I asked who cast or what spell did Harry cast, so the Furnunculus curse. But I remember in writing it, they're like, "Oh yeah, he mixed his spells with George," and I just remember that.
Very good. Very impressed. William, you're up to 85% now, 22 out of 26.
And what am I at?
Hunter is batting 100, batting 1,000.
100%.
Congratulations, Hunter.
I got to go, guys.
Sure, yeah, exactly. We'll make sure we do this the next time you're on and see if you can start a trend. 2 data points. Still don't make a trend, so we've got to get to 3.
Okay.
But we'll get there. Hunter, thank you for coming on. An hour and 30 minutes of Star Wars and Harry Potter talk. No better way to come back from your trip and spend your time. So thank you.
Always a pleasure.
William, we need to figure out what we're doing next week. And Half-Bloods, don't worry. It's going to be amazing.